Good morning, beautiful people. Reporting live again from East Hollywood, California. Say hello to the local tweakers. Just getting daily coffee. Gonna walk over to a spot that I used to hang out at a lot with friends I no longer talk to. Because some of you guys wanted to see more of the neighborhood. This is going towards more like the gritty, ugly side. And you guys see what I'm talking about in a second. Ironically, this is all across the street from a community college. Yeah, Los Angeles. You'd think that it'd be a cleaner place, but it isn't. It is what it is, you know. I'm sure you guys see on social media like there's tents and poverty and stuff like that. Well, there is, you know, and it's normal. For example, look, I'm walking on the sidewalk, right? I have to move to the side, right? That's somebody's home. And that's normal. That is absolutely normal. Well, I just got a text from one of my friends. I think something's wrong with him. Anyways, yeah. Then today I think I'd share a quick little story. Not a story that I got from Los Angeles, but from Vegas. I used to work at a bar. It's called a gaming bar in Vegas. Gaming bars are pretty much where there's like machines on the actual bar counter, and they're pretty much dive bars, but where you can make a lot of money, you know. And I work graveyard shift from 11 to sometimes 8 in the morning, so you can imagine like what kind of stuff I saw. There was one day in particular where I showed up to work and the parking lot just looked like Fast and Furious. There was illicit drugs everywhere, loud music, guns, sports cars, beer, which I could have got fired for because I got it from the bar. Oh, here we are. This I like to call the William spot. I named it after one of my old friends, William. Well, not old friend, he's around still. Yeah, this is a little place where people come and hang out. I come here now just to slightly reminisce, but it's also very peaceful before 9 a.m. Anyways, yeah, so this is one day in particular I showed up and it looked like a Project X style theme party. And I was like, holy hell. Right, so I get in there, I sign in, count the money, count the bank, right, good to go. And mind you, I'm by myself. In those bars, you're the bartender, the manager, the bouncer, the server, you're everything. Security or everything. And there's like 200 people, gangsters. We're talking like gangsters, pimps, sometimes prostitutes. And trying to control them is almost impossible. You know, like they leave like certain bags, if you will, on their plates of food, and they would just leave for hours. And I'm like, man, if any of my bosses were to walk in right now, I'd be fired. But you have to join these people in order to make a lot of money. So then, you know, clearly I was still drinking, you know, and usually I drink a bottle before I collect in the shift. So I'm pretty buzzed. Honestly, that's probably the only way I handle those people, because I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty dangerous job to have, to be honest with you. Graveyard bartender in Vegas. And then, okay, this was crazy. Like, a customer's new. You can tell them new because those kind of bars, the same people go to all the time. And so the lady was like, "Excuse me, sir, do you know what that man is doing in the corner over there?" And I had to look at her in the face and be like, "Oh yeah, welcome to." I didn't say the business. I can't say the business name. They're like, "Is that legal?" And I was like, "I don't think so." She's like, "Hey, do you see what else he's doing?" And let's just say him and his girlfriend were doing something in the middle of like the bar, like everyone could see. You know what I'm saying? Like X-rated stuff. And I was like, listen, like you just have to get used to that kind of stuff, or go find another bar to hang out at. The same dude comes up to me. He's like, hey, what's up, Kev? And I was like, what's up, man? He's like, hey, man, I need to talk to you for a second. Well, we need to talk to you. I was like, all right. He's like, and we got something for you. The dude passes me a book of matches. And inside the book of matches is another bag, right? At this point, you can't beat him. Join him. I'm intoxicated enough to not really think very well. So I get everything. I get all the customers good to go. Go to the bathroom. And I'm in the bathroom. And then the biggest one there, he was like 6'6", a huge drug dealer. He's like, hey, Kev, like put your foot on the door, don't let nobody in. I was like, what? And we're like it's like a circle of us in the men's bathroom. There's one girl, and it's the dude's girlfriend, right? And we all have our little bag of goodness, and we're just having like a casual conversation in this restroom, right? At like 2 a.m. And then the dude looks at his girlfriend and he's like, hey, I want to do something real quick. You know what I'm saying? I want to do a line of something. And she lifts up her dress, bends over, and puts it on her butt cheeks. And the dude in front of all of us just does it. And I'm like, where am I at right now? Like, what do I do for a living? And mind you, I'm pretty loaded. Like, I'm just like, I'm okay with this. I have to be okay with this. And then once he's done, he puts another one on her, right? She's still in the same position. And he points at me. He's like, all right, Kev, your turn. And I was like, but that's your girlfriend. He's like, so? You gonna do it or what? And everyone's just staring at me like, just do it, bro. So I did. At that point, that's when I really started to reconsider like what I did for a living. Like, was the amount of money I was making really worth it? Because what I usually did in the morning was go see my kids, you know, clean my face, buy a bunch of mints, right? Get cologne that I always had in my car. Get even more drunk after work, because I'm not gonna lie, that job really took a toll on me. It was like going to a party every day. And the come down from all the alcohol and, you know, drugs, I suppose, is terrible. And then you have to go hang out with your kids. And I'd show up and I'd just be so out of it. And the guilt of being that loaded, that drunk at like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m, it's just horrible. You have to act so normal. You're the only one that knows what happened that night. But as a father, you can't help but feel like a loser. And this is just one story of many, 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 many stories from this particular bar. This particular bar is the one that paid me the most amount of money, don't get me wrong. You know, a lot of money. More money than a 25-year-old knew what to do with. For sure. I couldn't spend it fast enough. But it started to really mess with my mind. Started doing things I normally wouldn't do. And then the stories got progressively more and more graphic. And I became more and more ashamed of who I was. At some point, my wife at the time, she could tell. She could tell I was hammered, man. I stank like a bar. Smelled like cigarettes, sweat, regret, cologne, and you know what? Sometimes perfume. Yeah, you could only imagine how that conversation went. Looking back, why did I do that? I guess I was trying to be cool, just trying to fit in. But look at me now. That bar is the reason why, like, I guess I started to get kind of sick. I remember too, like at some point the tips of my fingers got like golden yellow, and I cut myself once and it wouldn't stop bleeding for like 2 hours. It was at that moment I knew something was wrong. But I kept doing it, kept losing weight. Everyone even told me, like, you look different. And you can see the stuff coming out of your hair. You can, you know? It's disgusting, man. Trying to live that life and then being a dad and a husband at home, they just don't coincide. No matter how hard you try to make it coincide, it can't. On a funny note, though, the guy and the girl, they were a cool couple. They were funny. They were cool. I still mess with them to this day. You know, every time I go to that. Well, I mean, last time I went to that bar, it was just a visit. And then I saw a couple people, and I was like, you know what? This ain't me no more. This place ain't. This place is in the past. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss it on some level. It was definitely fun until it wasn't. All right, guys. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for listening.